Welcome once again to our weekly tech news roundup. I'm Alvin for OG Tech, and let's get started. Our stories for today is Spotify is testing its own version of stories called Storyline. Next is IT infrastructure becomes cute anime girls in Japan's latest educational anthropomorphism project. And lastly, US Supreme Court deals Apple major setback in App Store antitrust case. So here are the news. Our first story is Spotify. For those music lovers and our viewers, Spotify is testing its own version of stories, the sharing format popularized by social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram that has since made its way to other apps like Facebook and through Messenger and YouTube and WhatsApp and others. In Spotify's case, however, it's not called Stories, it's called Storyline, and the focus is on allowing artists to share their own insights, inspirations, details, and about any other creative process or other meanings behind their music. Storyline is only a test for the time being in both iOS and Android, but not on desktop. It's available in the US and in other markets, but Spotify isn't commenting as to who may be seeing it where and when. If you're part of the test group, you'll see an indicator on the bottom of the screen that alerts you to additional content, and then you can swipe up anywhere on the screen so that the button will reveal the story and start tapping, just like in stories in Facebook. These stories may contain lyrics, text, or images. So essentially, Spotify has now stories just like Facebook. You might see explanations from the artists themselves regarding the lyrics of their song. So it's pretty good if you're a Spotify user. Next, IT infrastructure becomes cute anime girls. So one of the biggest challenges in educating people or education in general is presenting the subject matter through something that the student will be interested in. No matter how important the topic may be, if it's not going to sink in or the student doesn't understand, it won't stick basically, because they might be more interested in watching anime or manga. So an elegant solution therefore is to enlist cute anime girls to help keep the reader's eyes on the textbook. So from the author Hiroshi Okajima, he's the author of the Let's Learn with Anthropomorphisms series. After a successful first volume that dealt with building computer networks, he's now back with a second series which focuses on IT infrastructure and terminology. The 264-page book features illustrations from character designer Yuichi Murakami depicting the Sisters, a group of fairies who live inside your IT devices and make them work. Among them are the prideful take-charge CPU and DRAM, whose defining characteristics is her strong memory. And the book will hopefully help those who are not technologically inclined to learn about IT infrastructure and terminology through the power of manga and cute anime girls. So there we go. Our last story, US Supreme Court deals Apple major setback in App Store antitrust case. So the US Supreme Court ruled 5-4 against Apple, saying the iPhone users can pursue their antitrust lawsuit involving the tech giant's signature electronic marketplace called the App Store. iPhone users argued that the Apple's 30% commission on sales through the App Store is an unfair use of a monopoly or a monopoly power that results in inflated prices passed on to the consumers, which means you. Apple argued, however, that only app developers and not users should be able to bring such a lawsuit. But the Supreme Court, in an opinion authored by Kavanaugh, rejected that claim. Essentially, this issue stems from both the feature and disadvantage of the iOS ecosystem being very closed off. You can't really install any apps other than from the App Store. You can't install any third-party apps unless you've jailbreaked your iPhone, which is technically illegal, depending on who you ask, basically. Unlike Android has a lot of other third-party sources, such as F-Droid, which I currently use, which has lots of free and open-source apps. So that's essentially why Apple users are essentially complaining, because it's a virtual monopoly for Apple. So who knows what this will bring? Maybe Apple will be more open to essentially bringing in other parties into the iOS ecosystem, which is a benefit for you and me. All right, that was the tech news for this week. Thank you for watching. Once again, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, please comment down below. I'll check on your comments, and maybe we can discuss our stories for today. All right, once again, I've been Alvin for OG Tech, and thank you for watching.